The A to Z of isms, capitalism. The business of buying and selling goods and services for profit is very old indeed. By 1800 BC, interest rates on loans to facilitate trade were established. But don't borrow money in ancient Babylon. You could pay up to 50% on the ancient world equivalent of a credit card. So what is capitalism? A basic description would be that it distributes goods and services according to the laws of supply and demand. Traders sell their goods at the highest possible price, but competition keeps prices at an efficient level. 14th century England was an important moment for capitalism. Blame the weather, which helped lead to the Great Famine, followed by the Black Death, which decimated the population of England. The price of labour rose and the poor serfs got better pay, an early example of the relationship between capital and labour. Over in Italy, capitalism from around the same time was much more sophisticated. Through the emergence of the great merchant and banking dynasties, they even had the first strike by underpaid day workers in the cloth industry. In the next century, the Frenchman Jacques Coeur, a mega tycoon known for originating the phrase "greed is good," overreached and ended up in prison, forfeiting his vast wealth. Here was an early example of what could happen when capitalism gained too much power. It challenged political structures and it became unaccountable. Lucrative trade routes to the American colonies then opened up, the foundations of mighty American capitalism. But it was built in part on the monstrous exploitation of the slave trade, which also brought the first calls for its reform. It was, however, the huge efficiency gains of the Industrial Revolution and the rise of the machine era that really put rocket boosters on capitalism. Its profitability spurred on laissez-faire economic theory, which minimizes government intervention in markets. A century later, Karl Marx would throw down his radical challenge to capitalism, arguing it was a phase in history, not an endpoint, and that it would one day collapse under the weight of its own contradictions, with a little help from the revolution. But the main experiment in anti-capitalism, the Russian Revolution, didn't live up to hopes of a sweeping alternative. As the old Soviet joke put it, in capitalism, man exploits man. Under communism, it's the other way round. Despite big setbacks like the 1920s crash and the Great Depression, capitalism bounced back, becoming more dominant in the world and more sophisticated. Since the crash of 2007 to 2008, many more searching questions have been asked of capitalism. How do we offset the really wide inequalities of wealth that arise from it? Does capitalism globally need more checks and balances? As Karl Marx once put it tartly, the last capitalist we shall hang will be the one who sold us the rope. If you incline to his view, you'll think that the contradictions in capitalism will constrain or one day even end it. If not, you'll still be buying shares in the company that made the rope.